Okay, welcome everyone. I'm just waiting for my subscribers to jump on, and then we will get started with subscriber only readings tonight. So it's been ages since I was last doing a subscriber live, to be fair, but I have been busy over on my other account building up my brand new positivity minded account, and it is growing rapidly by the day. So thank you to all my current followers on here that have switched over to my new account and following me over on there. It is growing bit by bit. And obviously when we get to 1K over there, this one, I am thinking of closing this one and just having a more positive account over there and bringing my subscribers over to the new account. And my subscribers know all about it. So yeah. So tonight is going to be all about subscriber only readings, and I'm also going to be revealing my witch casket box which came today. If you've never tried witch casket boxes, monthly boxes, you're missing out, because they are on TikTok and Facebook, and they do amazing subscription boxes every month. Alrighty, let me just share out this live to my subs, and then we will get started. Let me have a look. Oh, there's our Steffi. Alrighty. We should have our veiled as well. There she is. Alrighty. Alright, so now that we've got, oh, I think I've missed one person out actually. Give me a second. We can't not be missing people out, that would never do. Alrighty. There she is. Alright. So I have got all invites sent out, so I'm just waiting on people to pop on, and then we can get started with some of the readings. As I said, if you're not a subscriber, you won't have seen very much on this account, just because I am moving to a brand new fresh account. There's been too many trolls, etc. on this one, and on my new account I'm going to be very, very selective about who I add on there. Positive, real, genuine people only. Fake accounts not allowed. Yay, Miss Sparkles has just arrived. Hello, Miss Sparkles. So yeah, new changes. That's why you haven't seen very much of me on here, apart from doing subscribers. This account is only really open now for my subscribers, and not non-subscribers. If you're a non-subscriber and you don't want to subscribe, but you still want to see my cards of the day, join us on the other side. The positive.
Hello.
Hello. How are
Hello.
you?
It's when you started saying that no riffraff is needed, and I thought, well, I better jump out of the box then, because I'm the biggest riffraff you'll get. How are you
No,
doing?
I'm doing good. Do you know what? It feels like forever since I last did a live.
I know. I know
It
it
does.
does.
I know it's only been like a weekend and a couple of days, but it feels like weeks.
I know. I think it's because we did so many, and then we all just needed a rest
Yeah. Plus I was
and to like.
plus plus I was busy building the mansion on the other side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we just all just needed to, leave the drama behind and, like you said, create a nice community with genuine souls.
Yeah. Genuine gobshites in the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh dear. Absolutely genuine gobshites in the corner. I've even started branching out on my poi as well.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Have,
So
have you even like got the first bit like down?
I have got they call it like the basic moves
Mm.
is the side plane and the front plane, and I've got them.
Oh, okay.
So and then it gets complicated after that.
Do you have to spin them at the same time, or is each arm going at different times?
It depends on what move you're going to do.
Right.
Like some moves you can spin them both at the same time.
Mm.
Then other times you might have one that's going forwards and the other one's going backwards.
Yeah.
You might have one that's spinning left and the other one spinning right. You might have them crossing over.
No, I've been watching it, and this woman was doing it in a front room and took the lampshade out.
Yeah,
So, but you also have got scarves as well. So they must look pretty.
they are when the scarves are going. I haven't obviously filmed yet because what I need to do, one is I need to get one of these tripods. You know, with the tripods that you can get now that the camera follows you.
Oh no,
Oh, you're not seen them?
no.
Yeah. You can either get a stand,
Mm.
um, just like your camera stand that you would
Yeah.
have, that has a little eye to it that you do that to sort of ask in front of your camera, in front of
Yeah.
the detector,
Mm.
and that tells the detector to follow your face. So if I move in that way, it fo- it,
No
fo-
way.
it follows you.
Oh,
So if,
that sounds cool.
and if you go you can go round in a circle, it'll follow you the complete circle.
Oh.
So I thought, well, if I get the tripod one,
Mm.
which has the actual camera bit on the tripod, and it also has the remote control, so that if you're away from the camera,
Mm.
you just press the remote control, give the camera a signal, or give the camera a signal first,
Yeah.
and then you can pause the recording or whatever, and then record it again. And it means that if I'm doing my poi, if I'm moving out of shot, the camera will.
Wow, that is like serious technology, isn't it?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I
Rather
think
than
though as well, it's a good form of exercise as well, isn't it? Because most people walk and everything, but with your arms, you don't really do much.
No. And do you know there is a complete full community of poi spinners on this app?
Really?
There is a huge community of poi users. I follow now this lady, and she has been absolutely amazing. I can't thank her enough. I got speaking to her. I commented on her poi spinning, and I said, you know what? I love that. And she says, well, the bottom half of me doesn't work that great. You know, like her from her hips down.
Yeah.
She says, but do you know what? She says, my poi is what keeps me going.
Wow.
And she says, at least I can exercise the top half of me.
Yeah.
And she says, I've been doing poi for years and I still make mistakes. She says, but do you know what? Fuck the mistake. You know, it's kind of like, well, bugger the mistakes. It's not about the mistakes. It's about having fun and putting your poi movements. And she might even create your own movements.
Yeah, I was going to say, you could probably... So is it a spiritual sort of thing?
Poi actually started in Hawaii with the hula dancers.
Oh.
And the hula dance is a spiritual dance.
Oh, okay.
If you've ever seen the hula dancers in Hawaii, you know, and they've got the gentle sort of lulu la la, right? When you watch their hand movement, it's poi. Da, 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 da,
oh, of course it is. Yeah.
And that's where poi originally started. So a lot of spiritual people have found it, and it was while I was searching for my own particular path and got away from kind of like the riffraff side of TikTok, and got rid of all the negativity and antsies and stuff, and got back to me, that I said, right, okay, there's something missing, and I don't know what it is. I don't know where it is, but I know there's something missing and you need to show me. And I was scrolling through TikTok and I actually saw the poise. And I just knew somewhere in a past life I've done it before.
Yeah.
And when I got my 2 scarf poise, and I thought, I'm going to be like a blooming coup with a gun here. This is going to be great fun. But I found that I was able to naturally hold the poi and spin it. I even did a corkscrew over my head.
Oh, like the cheerleaders used to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So,
it's a good form of exercise. And like you said, a lot of people that may suffer with hip problems, leg problems, I know a person I knew used to do seated exercise classes at an old...
well, with poi, you can actually do it seated as well.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people in wheelchairs doing poi.
Going.
Yeah, I've seen poi users on this app who are maybe in wheelchairs and stuff, but they can still do poi.
Yeah.
Because they're just using the upper half. And it's like the lady that I was talking to from Ireland, and she actually said, you know, I said to her, I love your I started off by saying I love your videos, and you know, you've inspired me. I already followed one woman, but she's really, really good at it. And again, funny enough, she has a disability, but she's able to do these poise.
Right.
Which gave me the idea. So I sent away from a poi, and while I was waiting on the poise come in, I met this other lady from Ireland. And I actually commented on hers and said, I've just sent away from my very first poi. Looking forward to trying it out and doing it. And, you know, even though I'm blind, I'm not going to let that stop me from doing it. There was something missing. Yeah. As you know, I love music and dance. I've always loved music and dance, and this just fits. neatly into that, and it just means I can express myself more.
Also, you can add it to your journal.
Yeah,
Because I've started my journal, and you know when you put the quotes of the day
yeah,
on, I've been adding those, just handwriting them on one of the pages in the journal. And on Monday, obviously you knew how bad Monday was, and I came home and I just thought, I'm not going to put any negatives today. So I sat there, and it took me a while, to come up with any positives that I could have claimed for that day.
yeah,
But when you basically say to yourself, you can't write anything negative, you have to really look inside yourself and go, okay. And I didn't just want it to be, I actually got out of bed and got hospital transport or anything, because that would have been too easy.
yeah,
I wanted to do sort of a bit deeper. And the first one I wrote was, I've got another eye.
yeah,
And I was like, okay, this one's gone and there's nothing that can be done.
yeah,
So, but I still have some remnants of vision.
yeah,
So yeah, that was my first one that went down, was I've got another eye.
yeah,
But it's, I thought if I could get through Monday and I even put down that obviously Lucy came with me. So I was just like, we got a salted caramel frappuccino and a KFC. And that was another positive, because two things that I really like.
yeah.
So I'm starting slowly with baby steps, and I'm not making myself do it every day.
Nope.
If some days I don't want to do it, I'm just
Don't
not.
do it. Yeah.
No, I
Don't
don't
do
want it to become like homework or.
Do what I do sometimes on the days that I'm really busy and I can't journal. I journal myself,
Right.
right? Now I'm gonna do a little exercise with you, and it's gonna blow your mind, literally.
Okay.
All right.
Be gentle with me.
Right. Now, within your own mind, not speaking it out loud, right? But just in your own mind, I want you to say your name in your thoughts. So have you done that?
Yeah.
Right? Now say it again. Now this time, I really want you to shout your name in your thoughts as loud as you can. Not physically from the mouth, but just in your thoughts. Shout your name as loud as you can.
Yeah.
Now whisper your name as quietly as you can in your thoughts. Did you hear that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you actually hear the difference between talking, shouting, and whispering within your mind?
Yeah.
That is your inner voice. We have an outer voice. We have an outer voice, but we also have an inner voice connected to our thoughts. So every time you have a negative thought, scream at that thought, go away. Right? Now, give yourself a deliberate negative thought right now, right? And then scream at that, right at the back of it, scream, go away.
Yeah.
Can you see how screaming go away makes it actually go away, physically go away?
Yeah, I also added in a swear word, but that's just because it's me.
Yeah. But whatever is you, that's exactly, if you naturally add swear words to your self talks, then absolutely swear at yourself. But many people, when we've got thoughts, it's not until I get them to do this exercise that they realize your thoughts are actually vocal.
That's really strange. That feels really odd. Yeah.
Right? And that is all your thoughts are. They are vocal messages, either from spirit,
Yeah.
or they could be subconscious messages put there by people that have judged you in the past.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
How many times has somebody maybe said something really, really bad and we play it back in our mind?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And go, I wish I'd have said this at the time. I
Right?
wish I'd
Yeah.
have said that.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? When next time you think about something negative that somebody said, pay attention to that thought. You'll actually hear that person saying it. That is their thought planted into your energy field.
Yeah.
So you need to then tell it to basically do one.
Yeah. Like you said as well, it's really strange because I just thought of something that my mum said, and it was in her voice.
Yep. So if you can allow people's negativity to come into, remember, our thoughts are vocal energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take away our physical human body.
Yeah.
We're just a ball of energy, and that ball of energy can talk to another energy, right? And it can interact with another energy.
Yeah.
It's a bit like the poise. If you spin one poi, you're only getting one energy, but then if you bring the other poi in and they interact, you've got the two energies, right? So when you come in to somebody negative and they're giving you a negative, that is implanted into your energy. But if they've got the power to put that into your energy, you've got the power to actually put it out of your energy field.
Yeah. Every morning I do a really quick sort of grounding thing, and I just put myself in a big white bubble.
Yep.
And then I put mirrors all around me but facing outwards.
Yep.
And I like root my feet to Mother Earth, and I just dump all the negative energy that no longer serves me.
Yep.
And then breathe in the light and just ask it to, like with the shower, just to rain down on me to protect me for what I've got to deal with that particular day.
Yep.
And it does work.
It does. And when you think about social media and the news and everything negative, they work in the same principle. They work in the principle. Thank you for the heartbeat, Miss Buckles.
You're welcome.
It works in the same way, right? If you listen to the news, that news, right, is vocal, but it's getting into our energy field. It's coming in through our ears or into any of our senses. It's coming into your mental energy field as well, right? So if we listen to it long enough, it's going to stick in there until we decide, you know what, no, that's not having any free rental in my head.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get that right out.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if somebody, for example, came to me and said, Lady M, you're not real. Lady M, you're negative. You're this, you're fake. I will just say, do one.
Yeah.
Because I know, in my own mind, I know I am awesome. I'm quite happy being me because I know who I am. And that's good enough.
Exactly.
I don't need anybody else's validation to be me. I don't need anybody's permission to be me. I don't need to even explain myself to anybody else for anything that I say or do, because those words, those thoughts, those actions are my responsibility and mine alone.
Yeah.
So if they are my responsibility and my responsibility alone, that also means the people that are reflecting negative towards you, that doesn't belong to you, that belongs to them.
Yeah.
So gladly give it back.
Yeah. Absolutely. Just
Another way of doing it, when you are thinking of somebody's negative words, as you said, when you think about your mum, you hear a voice.
Yeah.
Right? So every time you hear your voice, what you do is you cup your hands and you take that voice and you go, right, I'm not accepting you. Cup your hands closed,
right.
and then throw it away.
That's a bit like Reiki, isn't it?
Yeah. Take that energy, blow it out, right? Everything, you know, when we do our meditations.
Yeah.
And
Veiled just come in.
Hello, veiled. Oh, we'll have to do that exercise with veiled in a minute.
Yeah.
We're just talking about the power of mind, Veil. And I've just blown Miss Sparkle's mind. Literally.
It's not that difficult.
But yeah. So say you thought of something that your mum had instilled in your brain. You're just going to cup your hands. You know how when we do meditation, we're breathing in all the oxygen.
Yeah.
Then we're squeezing all the negative toxins. That includes negative thoughts, are all going out the mouth, right?
Yeah.
That's where all the crap comes out of your mouth, right?
Yeah.
When you think about it, if somebody's verbally abusing you, it's not coming out of their nose, is it? It's coming out of their mouth.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
When you think of it, it does. It just comes out of their mouth, right?
Yeah.
So you want to do the same. You want to get somebody else's voice that's in your head out. So you just cup your hands. And as you're doing that, say, get out my head. Thank you very much. Close your hands so that you've got it in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can maybe open the window. Or open the window first, obviously. And then just go, be gone.
No, that's a good idea. I'm going to write that one down because, that makes a lot of sense.
Yep. And then you can slice any excess off your hands by, at the end of my Reiki, that's what I do. I do a three sweep.
Right.
And you just basically sweep in once, sweep in twice, sweep in 3 times. That gets all the negativity that we've pulled out of the person's body.
Yeah.
And then we just brush it away.
Yeah.
So veiled, we're going to blow your mind. Alrighty. So I'm going to ask you to do 3 or 4 things. And once you've done them, throw a sticker up to let us know you've done it. All right. So the first thing, without verbally speaking it out through your mouth, just in your thoughts, I want you to say your name in your thoughts. Just your name. Don't speak it out loud, just your name. And once you've said your name in your thoughts, throw us a sticker. Okay. Now, I want you to scream your name as loud as you can in your thoughts. Really, really use your thought and scream your name out loud. Remember, just in your thoughts, not your mouth. All right. Now I want you to whisper your name in your thoughts. Just a gentle, quiet whisper. Now, you've said your name, you've screamed your name, and you've whispered your name. Did you hear it? Think about that. When you spoke your name and you shouted your name and you whispered your name, did you actually? Yeah, you did, right? That's your inner voice. Right? Every time we get a thought, we actually hear it, but we don't because we're too busy thinking about or doing other things to actually realize that our thoughts are actually vocal. As Miss Sparkle says, when she remembers something that, say, her mum said, she doesn't hear it in Miss Sparkle's voice. She hears it in her own mind in her mum's voice. Of course she does, because that's the energy that her, the spiritual energy that her mum left, which is planted in Miss Sparkle's subconscious. It's the same when I think of things that my mum taught me over the years. I don't hear it in my mind as my voice, it's my mum's voice. So using that technique, the more that you use that technique and actually pay attention to your thoughts as vocal words, not just thoughts. Think about it. If somebody was to say, Veiled, you're worthless, you're not worth anything, you're negative, you're this, you're that, I don't like you, etc., right? That's coming out their mouth. It's going into your psyche and it's staying there. Now, if they've got the power to push that so that it sticks with your psyche, you've got the power to scream, oh no, you don't. Get the fuck out of my head. And I return to sender. Another way of doing it is if something is negative, and this is what we were saying just as you were coming in. When we do our meditation, we breathe in oxygen and we breathe out any negativity, including our thoughts, will go out our mouth, right? That's why if somebody's going to be nasty to you, they're not going to be nasty through their nose or their ears. They're going to actually spout all that negativity out of their mouth, right? So when you get a negative thought or a negative memory that somebody has planted in your self-conscious or subconscious mind, cup your hands so that you've got a little gap like that. And you're going to take that thought and you're going to blow that thought. And as you blow it in, close your hand. But as you're blowing it in, say, get out my head. You don't belong here. I'm not accepting you. I'm not accepting your judgments. Say it in your mind, because remember, if they can plant a thought in your mind, you can tell them to basically do one as well, right? It's like a two-way conversation. And then once you've got all that negative thoughts that came into your head, just open the window and say, be gone, be gone, be gone, and then swipe them off your hands. The more you practice that, and it's not until I do this exercise with people that they realize that all this time their thoughts were actually spoken words. but we don't think about it until somebody says, I want you to whisper your name. Did you hear that? And you're like, actually, yeah, I did. It's a bit like what I said to Miss Sparkles. Did you hear the difference in you whispering, saying, and screaming your name? And if we've got the power, we were just saying journaling. If we're doing journaling and we forget to do a journal, it's no big deal. Tell it to your inner journal. Put positive, if we can allow negative thoughts to come into our mind, we can allow positive ones to come into our mind. So say, for example, you didn't have time to journal that, oh, Lady M's having a reading live tonight. I haven't got time to journal it. So I'm just going to put it in my mind. Lady M's having, you tell your inner voice, Lady M's having a readings night tonight. I'm going. Because I know that when I sit with Lady M, I feel great. Even though she tells us to scream at ourselves, I still feel great. Exactly. Yep. It does. That's exactly how I do my spiritual readings. So when I'm doing my cards, the cards will tell me one thing and then spirit will tell me another through my inner voice. And you know how they used to say years ago, people that would speak to themselves or whatever else were actually crazy. They weren't. They actually were the more spiritual ones. Because who was it for anybody to say that they weren't actually talking to somebody?
Mm-hmm. It's also like, if I drop something, I, in my head, go, you absolute dick. How do what are you doing?
Yeah, you're
and
giving
you
yourself
say
a
it
negative.
to yourself, but not out, you can say it out loud or you can think it. But when you actually think into it, I do that loads.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God, I need to put the washing machine on. And I once got told that your brain is like a storage cabinet.
Yep.
And all the drawers are labelled and you put one in that and one in that. All my drawers are a little bit mixed up at the moment. And I think that's why journaling is helping.
Yeah. Veiled is like, oh my God, how amazing. Yeah. It's only when it's pointed out to us that it's like, wow. Because up until I said that, if I was to tell you you talk to yourself out loud, would you have believed me? Probably not, right? You would have said no.
Since meeting you, I've picked up on a lot of things. So I have noticed that I do talk to myself quite a lot. But that's normally because you've said, if you have dropped something and it's gone everywhere and you're just like, you absolute knob, you're going to have to clean all that up now. But it's only going to take 5 minutes. Whereas before, I would have beaten myself up and gone, oh my God, everything. I'm so clumsy. And so the journal thing and the positive rather than negative has changed the way I think, like completely.
Yep.
Completely.
And it does. And when you think about it, as we were growing up, we have been constantly bombarded with negative thinking.
Yeah.
Whether it's from people around us, social media. Heavens, you can just go through TikTok and in half a day and feel blooming like ending everything.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Right? because it's like anywhere else. There are good folk on TikTok, and there are also,
Yeah.
you know, the nasties out there as well. Um, but if they have the power to spout it so that it sticks, we have the power to say, "Oh no, you don't."
Mm.
A bit like what Miss Sparkles was saying: open the drawer, take it out, and dish it back. Put it
Yeah.
back in their drawer. Don't allow that crap into your space. It doesn't
Well,
belong
no,
to
'cause
you.
you've got enough to deal with.
Yeah,
I couldn't sleep the other night, and I just went scrolling through lives, and I just stopped, and there were these people talking, and then all of a sudden one of them went, "Who the hell are you? Why have you come in here?" And I was like, I was just scrolling. Well, keep scrolling then, because we're having a chat here. And afterwards, I was like, I should have put, then have a private chat with your mate. Don't put it on TikTok where people can come into the conversation.
yeah,
And then when you do that, you then make somebody feel really shit.
yeah. I
Why,
don't know
why would you do that?
have you seen that new one that's going that new phase? You know, you get different phases coming up on TikTok. You know, somebody will start something and then everybody else will follow it. I think
Yeah.
the worst one was the fat shaming. I thought that was terrible.
Oh, was that where you could make yourself fat? Yeah, that was disgusting.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, they've now got a new one, and it's not a filter. Well, it is.
Right.
It's a verbal filter that they're using. And I just sat and watched a couple people doing that, and I'm like, what the actual hell? Because what they're doing is there might be two people, a disabled child, a dog, and its owner,
Right.
a disabled baby and its mum, or there might be somebody's wife that can't paint very well, right? Etc. And they'll get the wife to come up and they'll stand with their wife or whatever, and they'll say, "This is my wife. She's gonna show you her painting, and you better like it. Do you hear me? You better like it." And I'm like,
Oh.
wow, just wow. And they do the same. I seen a mum doing it with her autistic son. My autistic son's gonna show you his candy bar, and you better like it. Do you hear me? You better like it.
Oh my, I've not seen that.
Yeah, this is a new trend that's going around, and I'm like, no, scroll.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
and I'm like, what the actual?
I know. No, it's horrible, but it happens unfortunately in everyday life,
Yeah,
and that's what I meant when I said before. When somebody's horrible to you, as you know, I'm quite quick with the comebacks, and I have to really filter myself when I'm live with you.
yeah,
But when I'm live on somebody else's, I really don't care.
yeah,
And sometimes maybe they just need somebody like me to actually put them in the place in the nicest way possible.
but then let me put a little bit of a spin on that one,
Yeah,
as I do in
yeah.
my right. There, when you think about it, let's use that example that you just gave when you walked into somebody's life live and they were talking and they says, "What are you doing here? We're having a private conversation, right?"
Mm,
And you says, "On reflection, I shouldn't have just flicked up and just ignored it. I should have went in and says, who the hell do you think you are? You shouldn't, have a
yeah.
private conversation, right?" Your first instinct to scroll on was actually the right one,
Oh, I know.
because two wrongs don't make a right,
Mm-hmm.
right? You going in and saying to them, well, actually, you're on a public live.
No, I
So
know.
right. You're giving them a negative reaction in response to their negative reaction.
No, I didn't. I've explained it wrong. When I said that about they're on public and stuff, I meant I give back if I see people attacking other
Yeah,
people. And if I'd have been in that conversation that those girls were having, and somebody like me, a stranger, had come in, and those girls would have gone, "Get out, it's private,"
yeah.
I would have
Stepped in and
stood up
said,
for the
yeah,
underdog. And
yeah,
you're absolutely right, because scrolling on, like with narcissists, if you don't give them anything back and you don't give them more ammunition, they run out eventually, because they can't. It's like trying to lean against an open door. It's not going to happen.
Well, you know how when I moved over to the new account, and
Yeah.
one of your concerns as a mod, and I love you for it, was, oh, especially when I said I was going to announce on this account that I was moving to that account.
Yeah.
And your first thought was, oh no, the trolls will find you on that account as well, right? Well, yeah, they would, but there's a difference. Finding a troll in 3K followers is like looking for a needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
Finding a troll on less than 100 followers is easy.
Yeah.
And if a troll's going to follow you, they're going to follow you from the beginning. And let me tell you, on the first 3 days of my new account, I actually blocked 40 trolls.
But when you were setting up that new account, you did not want Lady M anywhere near it. And we all said to you, "That's your name.
Yep.
What are we going to call you?"
Yep.
And yeah, we all the mods and your subs want to protect you. But right at the beginning, you were going to hide.
Yep.
You were going to hide behind a nameless channel.
Yep.
And then you then realised, I'm not going to change my name.
No.
I'm not going to, like blocking trolls and stuff like that is child's play. But not, when we're not losing our Lady M, we're not going to suddenly call you a different name. And
no, you're not going to go.
I think you had to realise that.
Yeah.
And I think all of us just want to protect you.
Yeah.
Because you're a good soul.
And it's the same with my guides. Not only just my mod said that, my guide was like screaming at me, this is your ancestral name. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
This isn't your human name that your mother gave you at birth. This is a name that you've had through centuries. So what the hell are you doing? This is who you are. This is your identity, or whatever you want to call it.
It is understandable, though, why you would go for the first option.
Yeah. And again, it's a learning curve. It's kind of getting back to doing shadow work with myself. And, setting up the new account was the best thing I ever did. Because now I really, really take the time to look through all my followers.
Yeah.
And I've set boundaries. And the boundaries are, if it's a new account with less than, say, 400 names, with no, nothing on their account to say who they are, I won't follow you.
No.
It's as simple as that. And I get it. Some people will say, but you're not helping other new accounts to grow.
It's not your job.
That's not my job.
No.
You know, that's like saying going into a candy shop, right? And saying, right, I'm only going to buy a candy bar that is £4 or £5. I'm not going to go for the 20 pence one.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to leave the 20 pence ones on the shelf, and somebody will say, well, what's wrong with the 20 pence ones?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing, but I choose.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the option. That is the key. I'm choosing who I have in my circle.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's
And it was a horrible reason that it came about, but
it came about
lot
for a
more
reason.
Positivity on it.
Yeah, it came about for a reason.
Yeah.
It was like the universe is saying, no, you need to get rid of this crap.
Yeah.
There's too much. And that's exactly what I did. And
like
you know what?
Said, 3,000 is a lot of people to go through to try and dig out the dickheads.
Yeah.
It's too many.
Yeah. It even got to the stage, and I had to really apologise to my cousin, bless him, because he's not long on TikTok, and he doesn't have a face.
Oh no!
He doesn't have any videos on his account whatsoever. So obviously he doesn't have any likes, etc. But he does have followers, and he is following because he's got family members on there. And he'd sent me a friend request, and this follow request had just been like P, and I'm like, right, with my cousin's name. And I'm thinking, yeah, you've just taken my cousin's name off Facebook and used it, whatever.
Oh, no. And it was him.
And it was him, right?
Oh,
but what made it worse was I got a message yesterday. And I've had some really nasty trolls in the past.
Mm.
And I got this message. And the message was from the P.
Right.
i.e. my cousin Paul, saying, hi, cuz, just to let you know that my older brother passed away yesterday.
Oh.
And my first thought was, how dare you come in and troll my account and bring my family into it?
Yeah.
But I didn't. Something stopped me from doing that.
Yeah.
And I asked him something that only he would know, and he answered, and I thought, shit, I could have really fucked up here, right?
Yeah.
But luckily, what made me think about it was his sister, who's also on here, but she's also on my Facebook, had actually put a Facebook post up to say that my cousin had passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So when I got the message from Paul, it did make me second think. But then, because you've been affected by trolls as well in the past, it makes you second guess, because you kind of think, has a troll seen that on my Facebook and used that to be nasty? Because it has happened before.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why. But then he's now following me on my new account, thankfully.
No, but like you just said, isn't it sick that even when it said, your cousin said, oh, my older brother's died, and then even when you heard it from somebody else, you were still questioning it because of what these people have done. That's like trauma bonding.
Yeah.
And the fact that you don't think like that, you just think logically. But when you've been put in a situation where you've had to query everything, otherwise you're going to get hurt, you're then like, oh God, well, they've brought the whole family into it now. And next it's going to be like, my uncle saying, well, you know, and you question everything, and it's a horrible thing that these people do. And I don't think a lot of them realise just how deep their stuff.
No, you haven't missed the witch box. You haven't missed it. Honestly, I haven't even, look at this. It is still in its wrapper. I haven't even opened it yet. So you haven't missed it, Veiled.
It won't accept my email. I've been trying it for ages and it won't accept my email. So my neighbour upstairs is like a computer wizard.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask her to just come down and do it for me.
Yeah. She might even just set up I've got 2 or 3 different emails, and I've made up a Gmail for my business. I've made a Gmail email account for just friends, close friends and family. And I've made another one for like my son's carers and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're all in the one email box. I just need to read all email, and it reads all the different boxes out for me and everything.
Would we be able to do some cards?
Yes,
please. Because I'm really looking forward to seeing what mine say with my new mindset right now.
Yeah, I want to do your cards before we get any more subs coming in, and then at least gets yours out the way. So I'm going to do yours and Veiled, and then if we haven't got anyone in after I've done Veiled, we'll do the unboxing.
Ooh.
See what's in this month's box. Alrighty, so the cards, let's do Miss Sparkles. So the cards that you can choose today, and by the way, I've just ordered 2 amazing decks from TikTok Shop.
Wait.
I can't wait.
Which ones?
Spill the Tea.
Right.
Which is basically like My Soul Truth ones.
Okay.
They're supposed to just give you it like right between the eyes.
Right.
And Messages from the Universe.
Oh, wow. Oh, they sound good.
I've seen somebody advertising them, and I had to look at, she was showing me the Spill the Tea. And I did question, do I do we've got a jigsaw puzzle. I did question, do we do the Spill the Tea ones, or do I just leave them? Because I was kind of in 2 minds about that one. But the more I seen them, it's like that inner voice saying, yeah, you need them as well.
No, that sounds awesome.
So, and I'm thinking, well, one set was only $5.99 and the other one was only $4.99.
Wow.
A couple of pints of milk or 2 decks of cards. That's the way I see it now.
Exactly.
So, especially at that price.
That's the thing though. I always beat myself up if I spend money on myself. So that's why I now do the 20p a day subscription and the takeout or, whatever. And I break it down to a point where if it's still expensive to me by then I don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But 90% of the time I get it because I've worked it out.
Yeah. And that's kind of how I see it. I could go into the baker's, or I could go into a coffee shop and spend $5 on a coffee. Or I could go into a coffee shop and spend $5 on a pack of cards.
Well, when we went to the hospital and I promised Lou a Starbucks, and we had to get it ordered on Uber because there's a Costa in the hospital, but she doesn't like Costa. It had to be Starbucks. So ordered a Starbucks for 2 coffees delivered was £18.
Mm-hmm.
I nearly choked on that bloody Starbucks. I was like, it better have gold leaf painted on it for that price. She's like, oh, you're living such the 90s, Mum. And I'm like, yeah, when you could get a coffee for 50p. What the bloody hell am I spending £9 on a coffee for?
Yeah.
And then I felt really old and shut up.
No, see, you get that thought right out. You said, no, actually, I can get just as good a coffee
Yeah.
as I can, whether it's the Costa or whether it's the other one, doesn't matter. If the other one's cheaper, I'll get that one because coffee's coffee.
Yeah.
But
no, she was adamant it had to be. Apparently, it's the way they blend the ice.
Oh dear.
I know. Yeah, that's kind of what I did.
Which by the time they deliver it, the ice is half melted anyway.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I
know. That's just how my mind works, honestly. All right, the 4 decks that you can choose from: Moon Card.
Yeah.
Old Faithful.
Mm-hmm.
Angel Numbers. Or Soul Truth.
Can I have Soul Truth and Moon, please?
No.
I said please. That was nice.
Of course you can.
Thank you.
Oh, dear. Oh, that's like my son today. I had my son visiting today and he was like...
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And he was like, can I get a drink? And I'm like, yeah, what would you like? Do you want your hot chocolate or do you want a cold drink? Can I get a cold drink? And I says, what's the magic word? He says, Can I get a cold drink? And I says, actually, your mum brought you up better than that. What is your, and he says, can I get a cold drink, please, Mum? I says, that's far better.
It doesn't matter what age you are. Manners are manners, aren't they?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Bless him. Did you go out anywhere or?
No, we just stayed in and just had a chat. He wasn't really in the mood for going out because his dad financially abused him again. It's an ongoing issue that I have.
Yeah.
But I was super mum bear today with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's been happening is there's been a couple of times like he gets a set budget that his dad controls, and it's like his dad will put something like £20 a day in,
right?
Or he's supposed to put £20 a day in his account so that my son can withdraw £20 a day and get a loaf of bread, something for his dinner, whatever he needs to have that day. And there's been a couple of times he's came to ours on his visit days, like today. And I just knew when he came in, he was like a bear with a sore head.
Mm.
And it's like, I'm going to kill my dad. I'm going to, and I'm like, oh dear. And I says, right, what's up? I says, right, before I put the kettle, I says, let me put the kettle on and then tell me all about it. Instead of just coming up the stairs and tell me what you want to do with your dad.
Yes.
And he's like, well, I haven't had my breakfast. I haven't had my lunch. Because his routine was when he comes to me as he gets up.
Yeah.
Jumps in the shower and then gets the bus to town.
Mm.
And then he'll have his lunch or brunch, because he calls it brunch because it's like breakfast and lunch combined. Yeah. So he'll go into the baker's and he gets, because he's autistic, he gets the same thing. It's got to be a chicken pie and 2 cakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's his thing. And a drink. And then he'll get the bus to ours.
Right.
From there. Well, he went to his bank machine to get his £20. And his card declined it. So he put £10 in and his card declined it. So he had to go into town and from town straight to mine before he could get something to eat.
Oh, bless him.
And he was absolutely starving. And I
Well,
said
and
to,
being distraught as well, because autistic people need routine, don't they? And
yeah.
mm,
And this isn't the first time it's happened. It's happened 2 or 3 times. His dad doesn't put anything in his account.
so has he got
Um,
sort of like conservatorship from?
well, all his, all before I left my ex, I
Mm,
controlled my son's money.
yeah,
And then because my son was decided he wasn't moving with me, he was staying with his dad then took over looking after my son's
yeah,
money
yeah,
from the DS or whatever. Um, so everything was, I just let the DS know it's dad that's dealing with it now, not me, blah, blah, blah.
mm,
Um, and then he abused my son, and me and my partner fought hammer and tooth to get him away from his son and live independently, which we did.
yeah,
And social work decided that instead of social work doing his finances, which should have done right from the first go,
yeah.
especially with his dad abusing them, they agreed to let his dad deal with his money. And
Wow, you need to try and get another care package sorted out for him.
yeah, yeah, and that's and then there's been a few days that luckily he's came to me. And he's had fed, and I says, right, let's go to the shop. I says, what have you got in the house? Nothing.
Oh,
I says, right, okay. Um, I says, let's go. I'll get you a loaf of bread. I'll get you some cold meat and some margarine and,
yeah,
bits and bobs. And I says, I'll get you some breakfast cereal for your breakfast. So you've got some breakfast and stuff. So we went, and he went away with a big bag full. And I made him some sandwiches and a slice of cake for his lunch. And then, of course, he had a big dinner with us,
yeah.
etc. And while he was playing on my P5, I was writing a very abrupt letter or email, because everything's in writing now. I keep a paper trail,
Yes.
because there's been a few times I've phoned social services and they've said, oh, we didn't say that.
Mm-hmm.
So now I refuse to speak to them on the phone, and everything is paper trailed.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't like it, but I don't care. Um,
No, they don't.
it's easier for us to talk. No, you're not going to sit and talk to me on the phone and try and
No.
say, yes, I said this, or I said that, and I didn't say that. Everything will be written down. And since then, they've basically ignored. Social work have never replied to my emails,
Wow.
etc. I'm supposed to get monthly reports from
The
the
carers.
the
Yeah.
carers. Nope.
Wow.
I get all my information from my son. Tells me what I do. He used to get 5 days a week, and they cut it down to 2 half days a week, and the rest of the time he's left on his own
Oh,
to defend on his own. And my argument was, he gets staff on a Tuesday and then he gets staff on a Friday.
yeah.
If his dad doesn't put money in his bank on the Wednesday and the Thursday, my son goes hungry for 2 days. And you
So his
think that's
dad's doing
acceptable?
it 20 a day, like on the day. He's Jesus Christ. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So he can't even get like a big shopping, can he? And wow, I'm sorry. That
Yeah. And they've done things like his carers have allowed him to go walking with holes in his shoes for about a month
yeah.
before they'll actually buy it. Now, don't get me wrong, as a mum, I could buy him shoes, but I don't want to go down that road, because if I go down that road, oh, mum will buy him the shoes.
Yeah.
No,
Adult social services pick up on that, you stuffed.
yeah. He's got a clothing budget from social services that
Yeah.
covers his shoes and stuff.
Yeah.
and the excuses that they've come out with, etc., etc. So of course, when he came in today and says my tummy's growling and stuff, I says
Oh,
and I went, that's fine. Have a seat. We'll get that sorted, you know. And he was like, I want to
it
do this.
breaks your heart though.
Yeah,
It
you know.
really.
But again, I'm trying to teach my son the positivity minded set. It's like, well, yeah, but the good thing on this occasion is
I've got me mum.
I've got my mum today, so
Yeah.
I know I'm not gonna go hungry. Um, and so he went away quite happy with his little
Yeah.
bag, with his little sandwiches and his cereal and his big bottle of milk and stuff like that.
Oh, Vale just sent you a heart signal with the little hands.
Oh, thank you, Veiled. So yeah, this time they got it right between the eyes in an email.
Yeah.
I sent an email to both his carers and social work at the same time. You know how you can put
Yeah.
two, and it goes to two different people. And his social worker, the email came back. Sorry, I'm on holiday to the 30th. I thought that's very convenient, right?
Yeah.
You know how they put this thing on their system saying, "Don't bother me, I'm on holiday."
Yeah.
And it's saying, but if it's urgent, email to this. I says, yes, you better believe it's urgent.
Mm-hmm.
So the link that she sent was to adult services, and I went,
Yeah.
that's fine because it'll go right to the, whoever's dealing with social services.
Yeah.
And I've just put, I am sick to death of what's been going on and the deliberate neglect
And cruelty.
and cruelty. And
Yeah.
I said, and I says for my son to come, which should be a happy mum and son time, was the most stressful start to his visit. And it took me half an hour to calm my son down.
Yeah.
And I said half an hour that I shouldn't have had to calm my son down because there's no food in his cupboard.
Well, I mean, even if I look at a bank statement on my phone and a tenner's gone out of it that I've forgotten where I've spent it, you get that sinking feeling in your stomach, and you're like, where's this tenner gone? What have I spent it on? But then for him to be autistic as well, and then to add on, I can't buy myself any food, and also that's his routine, like you said. When he changes buses, he gets his food, he gets his drink, then he comes to you. So his whole day got all squiffed.
Yep.
Because of one dickhead.
Yeah.
No, it's yeah.
So I basically said, so tomorrow my first port of call is not the social work because I've done that route and they just cover their asses.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, but they do. I've been to the top of social work and they'll just back each other up to the tilt.
Yeah, they
So
will.
they're gonna get a shock because I'm going to the Omnispin.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest that as your next port of call.
Yeah. So it's going to be the Omnispin. And I didn't say I was going to go to the Omnispin. I just says I'm taking legal action against you in the social work department.
Yeah.
And I am going in loaded with every email, every photo of my son's home, which is a safety trap.
Right.
Because he's been so anxious, etc. Over the years, he's kicked holes in his doors, he's pulled sockets off the wall, he's it's like the house that Jack built, basically. To the point that his staff, my son decorated his house with balloons and holly at Christmas time and stuff, and he asked the staff, and he says to his staff, can you take a photo of my decorations to show my mum?
Mm.
And they said, yeah. They had photoshopped the holes in the walls to make the walls look perfect.
No.
his house looked immaculate, and I've got photos.
Of the real non-filtered.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's all going to the Omnispin.
Yeah.
So they're going to get a shock.
Yeah, and you just, mentioned that it could possibly go to the newspapers as well, and wouldn't that be horrible?
Oh, I've done that before, and they've just ignored the newspaper bit as if to say, no, she's not going to do it. They're in for a shock.
Yeah.
I've been threatening it for years, and I think, no, I'm done.
Harness that mama bear and go for it.
Yep, absolutely. Oh, thank you for the lily. Hello, Erica. Welcome to your first subs live.
Hello.
Oh, wow. But yeah, so Mama Bear Head's coming on tomorrow.
It needs to. Enough's enough now.
Yeah. So that's kind of, when your son's actually coming in and he says, Mum, I was so hungry I could actually hear my tummy rumbling.
Oh.
And I'm like, right, that's it.
Yeah, not a chance.
I've heard enough.
No.
Yeah. And I did write to them, and I haven't. His actual care manager hasn't even bothered to reply. But again, that's more evidence.
Yeah.
Let them ignore, because that's going to the Omnispin as well.
They always have an on-duty social worker working, so the fact that you couldn't actually get through to anybody is a lie from them.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
So, yeah. And I'm thinking every time the shit hits the fan, it's funny because his social worker's always on holiday. Or she's sick. I thought, that's very convenient. How many freaking holidays do you get? Pardon my French, but,
I know, yeah. I got one that was constantly on the sick. Like, constantly. And they even said, we can't afford to pay another one because obviously she's on the sick, so we're still paying her. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so what do I get? And they're like, we can get a care coordinator, but they can't really do anything. So,
yeah,
it's messed up with the whole system.
Yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, I've kind of gone into my super crone years just now, and I just don't take shit anymore.
No, and you have changed. You have got. I've said to you a few times, you've really, not in a bad way, but you have toughened up a lot.
Yep.
Not to the people that you love.
Your card flew out the deck.
I know, so. I saw that. I saw it do it. I'm like, oh my God, was that the Soul Truth one as well?
Yep.
Oh, jeez. All right.
It's good when they do that, because it basically tells me that I've not shuffled that, they have, and it's like, yeah that's the one you're getting, whether you like it or not.
Gosh.
This is why, I think that's why the Spill the Tea ones and the Tell the Universe ones literally
I'm looking forward to you getting those.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, oh, I can't wait. I'm stalking the postie.
Yeah.
All right. Now, before I read that, I'm going to put everybody's name on the because Veiled will be.
Yeah, you've got
next.
Jade. And then you've got Erica.
I just want to keep everybody in the right order. All righty. So your moon cup, we'll leave the best till last. We'll leave the Soul Truth till last.
Okay.
Seen that one?
Me in suspenders.
I know. I love keeping you in suspenders. You look good in them. Just saying.
People see the live preview and go, what on earth are these crazy women on about?
I know. Yeah, because they're only getting 60 seconds of it, and they're like, and by the time they log back in again, there's like, what are they on now?
Yes, exactly.
Wow, you are good enough. Stop beating
Yeah.
your, stop beating yourself up. It's a full moon in Virgo. You are good enough. Stop allowing other people to make you feel less than what you actually are. Because you are good enough is
You just
what.
got a subscription.
Oh, oh, we have a Graham. Oh, Lorna. Oh, it's Lorna Graham. It's Lorna, my friend Lorna. Hi,
Yeah,
Lorna.
Lorna's just subscribed.
Yay. Thank you, Lorna. Come on in and join the madhouse. Only if you're wearing suspenders, mind you.
Yes.
We are doing good, thank you. And let me put your name on the list for tonight's reading. Now, Lorna, did you just take out a month's subscription? This reason I'm asking. Because eventually we are moving to the mansion. I know Erica subscribed for the year, but we'll sort that out if and when that comes.
Yeah, Lorna said yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I've been kind of saying to my subscribers. Just for the time being, just subscribe for a month at a time. I know like Erica's subscribed for the year. The reason being is when we get to 1K on the other side, all you lovely subscribers are moving over to the better half of TikTok.
Yeah.
The positive side of TikTok. Oh, thank you, Erica. Well, Erica, you have been supporting me for several years now, and that goes a long way. It really does. It definitely goes a long, long way. So yeah, we will sort that out because we don't know how long it's going to be before we get to that 1K.
Yeah.
But get to the 1K we will. And you know what? At the end of the day, if I have to keep this account open for a year just to keep Erica's subscription, we'll do that. I'll do whatever it takes because you subscribers are important to us. And anyway, Erica, you're now in the subscribers group. And Lorna, I know you're on Facebook as well. So after tonight's live, you'll also get slapped in our lovely subscriber community on Facebook. And for my TikTok subscribers, the Facebook one is free. It's part and parcel of that. So yeah, it's only the ones that are on Facebook but that are not on TikTok that pay the £6 subscription on Facebook. Yep, you're on all as well. That's why you got tossed in our community as well, whether you wanted to or not. You get thrown in with us. You don't escape us.
No, once you're in, you're in.
Yep. If you're on TikTok, guess what? And you're on Facebook as well, you're going on there.
Exactly.
Alrighty, so let's do our. So I feel I'm being told this last wee while you have allowed people to make you feel
Yeah.
pretty much right
Mm-hmm.
to the point where it's also made you question, am I a burden on this person?
Yeah.
Right? No, you're not. It's quite the opposite. They're a burden on you. Is what I'm being told. You're not the
That's
burden on.
weird because I've only a couple of days ago started thinking that way.
Yeah. the message I got loud and clear, you are not the burden. You're not a burden to them. They are the burden to you.
Yeah.
And when it's coming with you are good enough, it's saying stop giving to somebody that doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
No, it's spot on, because
Yeah.
it's only just got into my head. So the fact that that card's come out is validation of the way I'm starting to think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't always think that. We always think, as positive-minded people, that we're a burden to people, and we're not.
Yeah.
We're really not. So, time for thinking about you for a change.
Yeah.
And not what you can do for other people, but what other people should be doing for you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Very much. Yeah, very much right now.
Yeah. So the other
Oh, God.
card.
Yeah, the one that flew across the room.
Yep. Oh, wow. Name all the things that you love. I'm just going to say name 5 things that you love.
My children. My bed. KFC. Coca-Cola. Sleep.
Right? You missed out one. Are you one of them?
No. I know I should be, but no.
You are good enough.
I know.
Right? The first thing on that list should have been I love me.
Yeah.
Because I am
not quite
perfect.
there yet.
No. Today's mantra, and write this in your journal. I give myself all the love and attention that I need.
Yeah.
I give myself all the love and the attention that I need.
Yeah, that's what I really need to start doing.
Yeah. And it's kind of, when I got into my cronies, it's kind of how I see it now. And if you saw today's card of the day, it's going to blow your mind as well. That's all I'm saying on that one.
All right, okay.
But I'm kind of, when you get into the years of being abused and stuff like that, and people, saying things and doing things and all the talking behind your back, etc., you realise, I don't really care.
Yeah.
You get to a point now, or I do anyway, it's like, do you know what? Let them talk. If people want to talk about, talk shit about me behind my back, let them.
That's my new tattoo.
Yeah.
I'm
right?
not joking. I'm having it on my wrist, and one of my best friends is having it as well, and it's let them.
Yeah.
Because that's what she said. She's really spiritual, and she's holding like a solstice night on Friday. And she was like, you will be there, because I will grab your skinny ass and get you up there.
Yeah.
And yeah, we forever talking or going through something bad, and she'll just send me a message just going, let them.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh.
Yeah.
That's a nice spiritual number to note down, 0033.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, Erica. If you don't give yourself the love, then you've not got it
Yeah.
in you to give it out to anybody else. And I truly believe in that as well.
Yeah. It's a bit like the ones that were, and I'm going to say it because, it, it, if if
Oh,
there
you're
are
scaring me now. As a mod, you're scaring me. What are you gonna say?
I know I scare myself sometimes, but do you know what? This is just me, and I'm just going to say it, and I don't really give a,
Hoot.
yeah, I really don't, um, because in the past I've had trolls screen record,
Mm-hmm.
and then they've used that screen recording, and little do they know, we know when they're screen recording.
Yep.
We do know when they're screen recording. And I've now got in touch with TikTok, and they've agreed that I can let them know if I want to, whenever they've got the screen recordings, because obviously
Well, we
all
all
lives,
timestamped them as well.
and we timestamp them as well.
Yeah.
Um, you know, so now that we now timestamp on a regular basis,
Mm-hmm.
TikTok can now look at the screen recordings,
Right.
etc. But at the end of the day, do you know what? If they want to screen record, let them.
Yeah. Let them.
Let them screen record. I'll even smile and pose for them if they like, right? Because at the end of the day, it says more about them, and if they're screen recording things that they're going, that I'm doing or saying, let them.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, am I worried about what people, you know, absolutely screen record? Yeah, get my face out there.
Yeah.
Feel free to get my face out there. Please do.
Look what the big creators do. They do rage bait videos. Just they'll script something where one of them will fall out with the other, and then they split the gifts.
Yeah.
Well, one half for you, one half for you. Look, we've made $5,000 today. We've got $2,500 each.
Yeah.
So rage baiting and all that kind of stuff is what everybody's doing. You've not done anything wrong. They have, however.
It's like somebody on TikTok once put a post up, and I thought that is spot on. And the post was something simple as, I see you. I know you hate me. I know you dislike me. I know you're saying things about me. And I know you don't like me. You've said it to my face, etc. Or but guess what? You still watch me.
Exactly.
Guess what? You still follow me on my lives or on my posts, etc.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a hater. Picture a fan.
Yep. Yes.
Will I give you my autograph? Do you want my autograph? That's the way I see it now.
Yeah. And that's a brilliant way of seeing it. It really is.
If they want to share the screenshots, etc., or the screenshot the lives, etc., let them do it. It's more publicity for me.
Yeah.
And I've got some really, really good people on the other side of TikTok that now know my story.
Yeah.
And they have been also very similarly affected by trolls, etc. And I've now got a nice new supportive, a bit like what I was telling you at the beginning of our live about the lady with the poise and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know she went out of her way to do 2 separate videos to teach me how to do poi, to the point she actually came up close to the camera to show me the hand movements.
Wow.
And I went, you know what? This is the people I want
Yeah,
around.
that's your vibe tribe.
Yep, absolutely it is. So over on the other side, TikTok is TikTok.
Yeah.
You will get the trolls, especially when we get to 1K and you're doing public lives, you're going to get the trolls. But let them. Absolutely let them. Because it doesn't really bother me now. I'm kind of past that.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what, right?
Like we said earlier on, I think especially you just needed a few days just break, just to decompress. We'd all been on tenterhooks with the screen recordings and everything, and it got really stressful. But
now I'm at the stage where, do you know what? Let them.
Yeah. Oh no, Jade. We were just talking about, like, if people are being shitty to you, let them just be the shitty people that they are, and just leave them to it.
Yep.
Because it's their issue, it's not yours.
Exactly.
They've got to live their lives being that shitty person. We live our lives raising vibrations, raising other people up, motivating people, teaching them new ways to handle horrible, times in lives.
Yeah.
And that's what you've created, and you've done it before, and you'll damn well do it again, even more, because we've all got faith in you.
Exactly. I mean, at one time I would just say nothing about screen recording. I knew it was going on because I know what to look for. Hi, Kitty. I knew what was going on because I always do. I know who the trolls are and who they're not because I'm a good judge of character and I do read people.
Yeah.
Etc. But now I don't stay quiet about the screen recording. I'm like, well, yeah. Just let me know when you want a decent shot so that I can kind of
Yeah, do your makeup a bit and pout.
Yeah.
You need to get the fillers like my lips. I've got plenty to go around. God, they're massive at the moment. They need to go down a little bit.
You'd be good at doing that video. Was it some guys got lips good enough for kissing? Mwah, mwah.
Do you know, if I tried doing that now, it'd actually hit the screen. They're quite large at the moment. But I'm
some
just
guys
wiggling
need to build a reputation. They just want to add you to their list.
Oh,
I love it. But yeah, I love that. By the way, I did that on my other account. I actually did that video and I'm like, yeah, I have to do that one.
I love the one now where it goes, witches don't, but karma does. That's my favourite one. That's my favourite mic drop one that you've done recently.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't have to do karma.
No.
That's a lot of people think of witches and hexes and curses, etc., etc. And don't get me wrong, some witches do. I choose not to.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you for why. Every hex and every curse and every action comes back to you threefold.
Yeah.
And the only person that you are hurting is yourself in the long run. And it's kind of...
So even if the person deserved that hex, yeah, would it still come back to you, even though they did everything to deserve it?
Yes, because you are technically wishing harm on another person.
Right, okay, I get you.
Again, it's kind of like the two wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah.
right? It's kind of like, oh, you attack me, then I'll attack you back.
Yeah.
I don't have to. My ancestors do a really good job of that.
Yeah.
What I tend to do is, if somebody does me wrong, I do the opposite. I wish them well. I really do.
Mm.
Even my ex, I really wish him all the luck in the world, because by the time karma deals with him,
He's gonna
he'll
fucking need it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why witches worth their salt, or genuine witches worth their salt, do not do hexes.
No.
And I've had 9 witches at one time send a hex to me at the one time, and I've seen every one of those 9 hexes come my way. And I
Gee.
and I simply said, universe, deal with it. And I've
Wow.
literally seen them do a U-turn. it was
God, that
it,
is. Ugh.
it was quite funny, actually, when I look at it. And I just thought, that is so funny, because the minute I had said, do you know what, this incoming, I'm not dealing with this, it's all yours. And I literally, I see dark energy coming as like a dark cloud.
Right.
So if somebody sends me a hex, I see it as like a dark mist,
Okay.
right? So you can imagine 9 dark mists coming at you, and I'm like, oh yeah, universe, you can deal with that crap. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just walk away, and I literally saw them kind of like coming in and then going now
Oh.
again. And funny enough, those 9 witches cancelled their weeks live because they were all sick.
Wow. What a shame.
And
Your friend Lorna says, hope you don't mind her asking, are you and Malk still together?
yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Yep, we are very much still together.
Check out the bling.
Yeah, we are very much
Taken.
yeah, very much taken. Yeah, 2 years ago he popped the question.
Oh my God. Where did he do it?
Well, that's a funny thing. It was the most unexpected, but the most amazing way that he did it was, he said it was the day that my son was coming,
Right.
and it gave him the excuse to say, well, I'm going to give you some son and mum time, and I'll go up the town for a little while, maybe go in for a couple of pints or whatever and come
Yeah.
back. And I said, yeah, that's fine. So it's nothing unusual. He sometimes does that.
Mm.
And he came back and he said, when you take James back, he says, I'll come along if you want, and rather than you come back and cook a meal for us. Because when my son visits, I cook his dinner early, and then he goes home early, kind of goes home about 6, 7 o'clock-ish or whatever. And then I'll come back and...
in the winter months, it'll be pitch black and stuff, won't it then?
Yeah. So then I come back and just make me and Melt something.
Mm.
So this particular day, he'd actually said, I'll come to the next town with you, and once your son gets on the bus, I'll take you for something to eat, and it saves you cooking.
Oh,
And I literally said, that's fine. I'm not going to say no to that.
hell no.
So we got the bus to the next town. And looking back, Malx was pacing a little bit as if saying, is this bus coming yet? And I'm like, well, my son's bus is probably delayed, which is nothing unusual.
Mm.
And anyway, my son got on his bus and we said cheerio, and we were going along the high street, And we got to a bench, and he says, I'm just going to sit here, he says, and have a puff. And I said, yeah, you can light up. And he said, while we were sitting there, he says, we'll sit here for 5-10 minutes. He says, because obviously you can't smoke when you go into a restaurant. You have to smoke outside. So he says, if I have a cigarette beforehand. And I said, yeah, that's fine. Which is, not again, nothing unusual. We do that quite a bit.
Yeah.
So he sat on the bench and he says, go and close your eyes. I says, why? He says, just close your eyes.
Oh.
And I closed my eyes and he said, pretty much, will you marry me? And when I opened my eyes, he had the ring out.
Oh. So it was just like you two on the bench, just, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Did you still get your meal?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Double winner.
Yeah, we still got a meal and stuff like that. So
oh, wow.
A long way round for an Aunt Salona, but yes, we are very much together. We are very much, in fact, we're stronger now than we ever were. So we've been through a lot.
Mates, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. You know, I can't fault him whatsoever.
Lorna said she remembers years ago when we used to do lives, you'd mentioned him.
Yeah. And the thing is, we do our own thing. He does his own thing. I come on and do my lives. And you know what? We're both free spirits. So
yeah,
he allows me to do what I need to do, and I allow him to do what. And I think that's the magic. That's when it works. If you try and control. Whereas my ex, he was the opposite. He was a narcissist, and in fact, my ex was pretty evil. He still is. And there was no freedom for me whatsoever. But now, I'm free to do what I need to do, and he respects that, and vice versa. He's free to do what he needs to do. But at the end of the day, it works.
Erica said your move helped too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely it did. Because we got rid of a load of trolls, and now last we heard, those trolls are really, really pissed off because they can't get where we are. We're surrounded by spiritual people.
Oh,
Our two closest neighbours are actually spiritual people.
Wow.
So it's done a U-turn.
We are waking up a lot more people though, aren't we?
We are.
I've noticed now that people are not as scared anymore, and it's becoming more mainstream.
Yeah.
And that's good, because we're trying to teach people this is the right way to do things, and people are opening up now.
Yeah. They're actually waking up from the illusion.
Yeah.
Because most of the world is living they're kind of living in an illusional life. It's not real.
No, it's like the Truman Show, where they live underneath that bubble, and everything is set out, and that's the way they do it, and we're all like little soldiers, and we just go where they tell us to go. And there's a lot of us now just saying, do you know what, piss off, I'm going to go that way instead.
Yeah. When you think about it, if somebody was to take you today and put you on the moon and give you a set of binoculars or a telescope and saying, look at the earth and tell me what you see, what you would actually see is robots.
Yeah.
What do I mean by that? Well, think about most people's routine. Let's take the 9-to-5ers, right? Up in the morning, shower, breakfast, kids to school, at work from 9 to 5, come back, kids are back from school, make the dinner, put the kids to bed, go to bed, get up, and what do you do the next day? Same thing. right? So looking from above, you would see a conveyor belt of robots just doing the same thing, programmed to do the same thing,
Yeah.
controlled, right? And that's the matrix that we live in. We are controlled. The biggest control ever was COVID.
Yeah.
That was mass control, and it was done genius. It was a genius way of doing it. Unless, like me, you were awake and thought that, which I literally did. Every COVID rule I broke.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
me too, but that's what helped a lot of people wake up.
Yeah. And there was a lady on TikTok, and hats off to her. She did an amazing thing once COVID had kind of died out and the truth started to come out. That was COVID was basically just a high strength form of flu.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And this lady just put a post up, and all the post said was, please help me with my survey for my own personal thing.
Mm.
And she said, I'm asking people to let me know whether they've had the or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I also then want to ask those that have been, what was your health like before? And what is your health like now?
Mm-hmm.
For those that weren't vaccinated, what is your health before COVID and what is it after? And that's all she asked them to share.
Yeah.
Every single one of them that had been vaccinated had said, our health was really, really good. Now it's crap.
Yeah, my dad now looks like an old man. It
Yeah.
even turned his hair grey.
Yeah.
And he had black, natural hair. And he had the jab, and 3 months later, he lost 2 stone and his hair went grey.
Yeah. Whereas on the other side of the coin, she did the same, asked the same questions, but the other way around. And the person's health didn't go up nor down.
Yeah.
And she said, I rest my case. And that's all she said, I rest my case. These are the findings.
Yeah, Erika says the medical profession is poor. Her health's not very good.
Yeah. And it's why time and time again, I won't, if I do get unwell, I will not go to a GP.
No.
I refuse point blank to go to a GP. Now, I'm just putting a disclaimer there. I am not saying to people, if you are sick or you're on current medication, give it up. Please don't. Please continue to take your prescribed medication, because I will state I am not a doctor, but I do choose for myself.
Well-being, yeah.
Yeah, for my own well-being, I choose not to take medication for anything that it has, anything that's wrong with me, etc., etc. But if somebody was on medication that is for something that is life-threatening or whatever, please continue to take your medication. So I'm just putting that disclaimer out there. Because we know that some people can get a bit TikTok compliance.
I know. Well, it's making me acknowledge literally every comment chat's making right now.
Yeah.
I'm having you assist it.
Yeah. Because, I do know TikTok rules and regulations, etc. And I will state I'm not a doctor or whatever. But I do my own research for me. But I'm not you. And my medical condition might not be the same as your medical condition. So don't get me wrong, if you want to go down the herbal route, I would suggest you say to your GP first and foremost, is it safe for me to go down the herbal route? Rather than just say, well, I'm just going to throw all my meds down the toilet and just go for the herbal. Please don't do that. Always consult your GP. I'm slightly different. I'm a starseed. I kind of follow my own intuition as far as what my body needs, because it's an inner knowing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, Lorna. You know, arthritis, yeah. And,
And that's just with 2.
Yep.
I had 1 because I was unconscious and they did not ask my permission. For the rest of them, I said no.
Yep.
But my ex said, do it. And that, he was my next of kin at the time. Just quickly, I went for my eye operation. And I was about to go down. They said, right, and the DNR, that still applies, doesn't it? And I went, what? And she went, the DNR, we've got a DNR on your records that your next of kin put down. And I found out that my ex-partner had put the do not resuscitate down on my medical records.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hope that's now off it.
It certainly is, but I would have never known. And she just said, right, so we're still okay with the DNR. And I was like, no, we're really not.
Wow.
Should bump me off.
Wow.
I know I'm the little gobshite in the corner, but seriously.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I know before me and my evil ex split, he had just taken out a huge a huge insurance.
Life insurance.
Life insurance for me and him.
Mm.
And his way of saying that was, oh, you're going to be rich if anything happens to me. But you always twist the narcissist's story and reverse it. And I'm like, yeah, you're going to be rich when you do me in.
Yeah.
Which he almost got away with. Until one of my guides took over and punched him in the nose. Oops, never mind.
I wish it was somewhere else beginning with an N.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm not. Do you know what? It's his karma's coming.
Mm.
So I just leave the universe to that one.
I know, but what he's done with your son, that's beyond. Yeah, that's not messing anymore. That's dealing with it.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I don't know how we got onto that, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. We started on the propaganda, then it turned to COVID, and yeah.
As our chats do. But going back to your 2 cards, just to finish them off.
Yeah.
No more allowing people. That's how it started, because we were basically saying, if people are going to put you down or they're going to talk, let them. You will never stop people talking about you. You will never stop people trying to what do they call it? They now call it it's actually a word for it now. It's hate campaigners. They call it hate campaigners, and
Oh,
it's actually a thing now, and it is illegal. Where hate campaigning is where somebody knowingly tries to influence other people against you
yeah,
to cause what they now call as a hate campaign.
yeah. Alarm and
So
distress.
yeah, it's kind
Yeah.
of like it's kind of like if I just for an example, if I went and said, um, you know, for example, if I was saying about veiled, um, not that I'm saying about veiled, but this is just an example. If I was to go to Miss Sparkles and says, Miss Sparkles, see that veiled? I wouldn't trust her. She did this, she did that, she did that. The next thing, you don't want that happening, do you? You don't want that happening to you, do you? Right? And they
Mm.
make it so convincing that Miss Sparkle says, no, actually, I don't. But then again, I don't want it happen to my sister either. Wait a minute. I'll just phone my. Oh, by the way, do you know that veil? This is blah 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 blah. Right? And before you know it, instead of one person hating on you, you've got 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Right? Now, those 5 and 6 other people don't know veiled from Adam.
Mm-hmm.
They are just going on second-hand information from somebody that doesn't like veiled,
Yes.
right?
I think
It's not,
that's the the way you've just explained that has been absolutely spot on,
yeah,
because that is exactly what it's like. It's like coercive control on steroids.
yeah. You know, if it's a bit like if you watch people on TikTok, they will. Why do they screen record? Because it's not just one person screen recording. It's
No.
somebody saying to somebody else, go and do me a favour, I can't get into Lady M's live. So could you get into that live, screen record it, send it to us, and then we'll put it all over TikTok,
Mm-hmm.
right? We can't get into her subscribers live, for example, but
Mm-hmm.
we can send somebody in, which happened not so long ago. We'll send somebody in to subscribe.
Yeah.
We'll record that from the inside. Then you send that to us, which they did. And then we'll put it all over TikTok,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then we'll say, oh, look, see, she's done this, she's done that, she's done that. But they'll edit little bits and pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now
And take it completely out of context.
they'll take it completely out of context, right? But they won't tell the person that they've sent in to do their dirty work for them what they're going to do,
No.
right? So that poor person has been used in some ways to do somebody else's bidding. And then when the shit hits the fan and you get like videos of you all over the place that is
Mm-hmm.
not what had been said on the
Yeah.
video, they had just taken bits out and added bits in and edited
Mm-hmm.
the video, etc. Right? And then they take that video and then they mass report it to TikTok, and then you get violations and stuff like that. This is what's happening on TikTok, not just with me, but there's a few people that I've spoke to, and it's a real thing, right?
Isn't
It's
it just absolutely pathetic that those people have got nothing better to do
yeah,
than
but
that?
but the people that are actually, instead of the other people that they're getting pulling in, saying, because not being funny, but if somebody was to say to me, go in and go on Veiled live for me. Go and screenshot it and give me it. I'd be
Yeah.
saying, you can just go and do one.
Mm-hmm.
I've not got anything against Veiled. If you want to screenshot Veiled, you do it. I'm having nothing to do with it. But for some reason, these people have got such a way that they can put it across that you're actually doing something good when you're actually doing something that can
Yeah.
actually mess people's lives up.
Veiled's like, why is it always me? I'll take the bullet next time, Veiled, I promise. Normally, it's me that takes the bullet. I was actually shocked when she picked you.
I know.
It's like, my God, it was my birthday.
We actually love Veiled, to be fair.
I know.
She's one of, Veiled is absolutely, Veiled would actually be one of the ones that would say, go and stuff you, I ain't doing that.
Exactly.
But you see it all over. I've met so many people on this app, and I've actually had people approach me and saying, can you do this for me? And I've basically told them to go and do one.
Yeah.
Oh, but this person that says, I don't care. Until I hear it from the person themselves, I'm having nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
But sadly, a lot of people, there's a lot of lonely people on this app as well, and they will do anything to be popular or to make friends, etc. And if that means going into people's lives and screenshotting and giving them it, because they innocently think it's just somebody being nosy. And they don't...
are getting into like hundreds of thousands of pounds debts by giving, creators massive gifts, and that creator will say, I love you, you're amazing, and the very next day that creator's not going to remember you.
Yep.
And the £450 that you've just given them for a lion or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's really sad, and I know what it's like to be absolutely on your own with nobody.
Yeah.
So, we could all go down that route if circumstances hadn't happened in life.
Yeah, exactly.
I still won't screenshot jack shit for anybody, though.
No, but sadly people will.
No.
As you said, just for the popularity thing, and sadly it does go on. Etc. But at the end of the day, I've had that happen to me more than once. Does it bother me? No. Why? Well, 1, 2, I know it's not true because I know me.
Yeah.
And 3, the people that are in my circle know exactly who I am. I don't have to, I don't have to explain myself to Lorna. I don't have to explain myself to Miss Sparkles or to Veiled or to anyone.
Your number, it's 111 right now.
Yeah, 111.
111.
Exactly when I said I don't have to explain myself to anybody.
Exactly, that's why I said it, yeah.
And I don't explain myself to anyone. And I don't have to, because I know who I am. And if people want to think otherwise of me, then let them. Does it really bother me? No. It really doesn't. Right? It used to when I was younger, when you were bullied, when you were in the school playground and you were bullied, etc., and you went through 30 years of abuse, etc. Yeah, it used to bother me. See, now I don't really care.
Yeah.
I really don't really care, because I'm like, well, that's the way I see it, it's their responsibility.
Yeah.
And, the karma often is with the smear campaigning. That's another word that they call it, when somebody's smearing your name and getting more than one person involved, etc. It's actually a smear campaign. Now, thankfully, they've actually got it down as an actual breaking the law. If you if you deliberately start a smear campaign, you can actually get done for it now.
Well, it's also malicious communications as well.
Yeah. So there is a lot of laws protecting people anyway for, as you said, the Malicious Communications Act, especially online. And a lot of that came out because of people that were getting smear campaigned or hate campaigns against them. And there was one that ended tragically.
Yeah.
And she unalived herself.
Mm-hmm.
and it shocked the TikTok community, and to the point where the TikTok community turned against the ones that had actually caused her to do that.
There was somebody did it a couple of months ago as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hideous.
And I would actually hate to think that I was following somebody else's smear campaign or doing somebody else's bidding that would actually end somebody's life.
Yeah. And also, a lot of people don't like Katie Price, but because of everything that Harvey was put on the internet and the vile, jokes and memes and everything, and she went and stood, she got her signatures and she went to see the Prime Minister, and she was like, you need to sort this shit out. He can't do it for himself. So I'm going to do it for, and whatever people think about Katie Price, it's neither here nor there. The way she looks after that boy is good, and that she's fought tooth and nail for him.
Yep.
And you very, very rarely see now any bullying of younger children. Yep. But a creator yesterday said she could tell if children were autistic just by looking at them, because they look, and then she made a noise and a gesture.
Yeah.
And this woman had 3,000 people in her live when she said that. That's bannable as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I've worked with a lot of women and children and men who have gone through abuse, who've gone through bullying, etc., etc. And this, I will give them all the same advice. Why are you allowing them to keep giving you headspace? Why are you renting your headspace to these people? Why are you even allowing the fact that they are talking about you, or the fact that they are smear campaigning, etc., etc., put you down so much that you want to hide? And I know our lovely Erica will say, I've done a lot of work with Erica as well, and you know what, that woman has come from strength to strength. And I know Erica knows what I'm talking about, but Erica has come from strength to strength. And that's what it should be about. It should be about building people up, not tearing people down. And we should pride ourselves for building people up, instead of patting each other on the back for pulling somebody down.
Gemma's here.
Yay, we've got Gemma. Welcome in, Gemma. So
I've got Jade down on my list next.
Yeah, so I've got Jade, Erica, Lorna, and Gemma.
And we've also got Kitty.
Oh, Kitty. Oh, wait a minute. Kitty's before Gemma. Sorry, Gemma. Kitty and Gemma. Kicking Kitty. Kitty with the red heels. Put your red heels on, put your red heels on. Kitty with the red heels, and Miss Sparkles with the suspenders.
Yes.
Because she looks good in them. Just saying. Oh, dear. Oh, we're all feeling good tonight. We've had a really good session so far. Oh, Gemma, you don't want to know what you've walked into, honestly. All right, Veiled. Where is our lovely Veiled? Oh, we've hit our live goal. Yay.
We have, and we just need to keep tapping as well, guys, if we can.
Yep. Tap, tap, tap. Makes our...
And
Takes out.
also, because it's after midnight, your new heart me's, you can use them.
Yep, you certainly can. Just hit that little heart me at the top and just
Get your
claim
points.
Claim your points, folks. Claim your points. You don't get nothing. So, Veiled, the cards that you've got, a choice of Moon cards, Soul Truth. We also have the Angel numbers, and we have the Old Faithful. Any two.
I can't see her.
Where did she go?
Don't know.
Is she on my list? Let's have a look. Let me see who I've got. Oh no, I can't see her either. Where did she go?
Don't know. She might have fallen asleep.
Or maybe TikTok's done a scoodle
No,
doodle.
because I've been approving all the messages, so...
Oh, right, okay.
I'll
What
see
we'll
if
do...
I can share it out to her.
Yeah. See if we can share Veiled. In the meantime, do we have Erica? Because we could do Erica while we're waiting on Veiled coming back. Erica, are you still with us? Yes, she is. All right, Erica, we'll do you while we're waiting on... That sounds awful, that, doesn't it? Oh, Erica. Oh, it's your turn next, Erica. See, that's what happens when you take Veiled place. You're the next one on the fire.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, dear, poor Erica. Anyway, Erica, we are definitely going to do you next.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good the more you say it. It just builds.
So, any two cards, Moon cards, Soul Truth, Angel numbers, and we also have Old Faithful. Any two cards you like. I was going to say you can do any two cards, but that's just digging a bigger hole.
Soul Truth and Old Faithful, please.
Okay, Soul Truth and Old Faithful it is. And for the subs that have just joined us as well, I got my new witch casket today. So after all the readings, I'm going to be unveiling, unboxing.
I've got a box of crystals that have arrived today, but you need, because they come like from quite far away, you need a hacksaw to get into the packaging.
Wow.
So I've been looking at them all day and just going, no, you can wait. I'm not ready to go to war on that box yet. Every square inch of it has got sellotape on it. I'm like, no.
Oh, no. See, I've got one of these little tools that you get on TikTok shop now, and it's like, it's got a heat sealer on one bit of it, and then it's got another one that's got a little tiny knife, and you just score it across sellotape, and it just opens boxes in seconds. It's amazing.
Right. I shall be purchasing one of those because I love getting my crystals out, but the way they're packed, oh God, it's terrible.
Yeah, well, this thing's just it's about that size.
Yeah.
And it's got two buttons at the top. One button you press down, and it will seal your packet of crisps so that it stays fresh.
Fab.
And then on the other side, the next button up, if you press that one down, it opens up packets and things.
Oh, I didn't know I needed one, but I do. I absolutely need one.
Yeah, because I hate sometimes trying to like open those polythene packets. But yeah, so many times I've opened a family pack of crisps and only maybe eaten like a quarter of them, and the rest go all soggy and soft.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Whereas this one now, I just take my little heat sealer, and
Oh.
it's USB charged. So when it runs out of charge, you just charge it up again, and it's good to go again. And you just turn it on, heat it up, and then you just put your packet of crisps in between. You know, it's like a little stapler thing. Push the button down, and as you're holding the button down, you just slice it along the top, and it seals your crisps.
Wow.
So it's great for like even things like anything that's like packets of sweets, crisps, rice packets, anything like that, anything that you need plastic bags that need sealed, it'll just seal it. Oh, thank you, Erica. Bless. Everybody's loving the Soul Truth ones tonight, aren't they?
Yeah, because they do hit hard, but they make you think.
Yeah.
I think that's why we like them.
Well, wait till I get the new Spill the Tea ones.
Yeah.
The feedback that I've got from those ones is they are brutal. If you don't want to know the truth, don't ask for the Split the Tea ones. I'm just saying.
Oh no, bring it on.
It's like, yeah. And then the other pack that I've sent away for is Ask the Universe.
Yeah. I like that sound of that one.
There's been a few other ones that I've seen and I think, nah, it doesn't call me or whatever. No. But there are other ones that's like, yeah, those ones definitely call me. So
it's nice to have a variety because you've got the past lives cards as well, don't you, that you sometimes bring out.
I have got so many packs. I've actually got a shelf full of packs. Some of the packs I haven't even used for years. But what I tend to do is before I read them, I'll ask my guides what cards do I need to pick.
Right.
And I'll actually see the deck in my mind's eye.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how they work. That's how my guides have always worked with me. I'll say, what deck do I need? And then I just wait. And they'll show me the deck and I think, right, okay. So it's the same when I do my cards of the day. What deck do I need? And it's the same when I'm shuffling the cards. I'll shuffle them until either one falls out or my guides tell me stop shuffling. And that's the way I've always worked. And it just works.
Yeah.
Or as the Soul Truth ones are the ones that usually fly out the deck.
They are, yeah. They're the ones that do really make the da-da, I'm here.
Yeah. They are. They're just... If I want to ask something, I'll ask my Soul Truth cards. Every time. Sometimes I use my Hecate ones because I'm following Hecate. Or should I say she's following me, I think. But I do work a lot with Hecate. And I think it's partly working with Hecate that's brought me full circle back to me. Which is why I don't give... I'm pretty much like Hecate that way. I'm kind of at that stage now. I don't give a shit. Literally. Yeah. I won't give you shit, but I don't give a shit.
I wish I could say the same for me today.
But yeah, unless it's aimed at my kids, and then that's a
Oh, that's war.
yeah. Attack me, but attack my autistic son, and you better run.
Mm-hmm.
See my finger? See my thumb? See my fist? You better run, bitch. I love that one.
Or you and Lucy do your Sophia and
Oh, yeah,
so what's Dorothy's act?
yeah. See the amount of comments I've had on that one.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's so funny.
Yeah. When you got bullied at school, what did I tell you to tell them? That I was special and shouldn't ignore them. And if they still got in touch, what did I tell you? My mother could have you eliminated with one phone call. Yeah. Love it.
Oh,
It's the way she does it.
I know.
It's the way that Lucy sits there on the stair, full innocent, And I'm like, and what did I tell you?
Yeah.
Love it. That one's got so much people liking it and commenting it, and every time I reshare it or repost it and stuff, folk are like, I like that one.
Like you said though, creating content, getting yourself out there will help you attract the same people that fit in with your humour, fit in with your beliefs and everything. So,
well, it's funny that if you'd asked me about 3 or 4 months ago, or if you told me 2 or 3 months ago I was going to pick up a poise set and do poise spin, and I would have said, you got the wrong girl.
yeah.
But I don't even know how it came about. I think I thought I was shown. I always say, even on TikToks, but it can take you to a video that you need to see.
Mm-hmm.
It's again goes back to that ghost in the machine. It will take you to the spirit, where spirit want you to be, and what they want you to see and what they want you to know.
Yeah.
It's a bit like when you see angel numbers. Why do you see angel numbers? Because is it a coincidence? No. It's divine timing, and it's universal codes being shown to you when you need to see those universal codes. It's the same thing.
My grandma, every night without fail, will make me look at my phone at 7:09 because she was born in 1909.
Wow.
So I don't even think about it, and I'll just look at my watch. I've got like a smartwatch, and it'll say 19:09, and I'm just like, "Hi, Grandma. Hope you're doing all right."
It's like no, it was the 11th of June, and I know that. Now this one just blew my mind. I had just done the subscribers reading for the day, and that I had definitely put the 11th of June on. And then I went to do the card of the day. I said the card of the day. In my head, I posted the 9th of June on the, typed the 9th of June and clicked post. And it wasn't until it was posted and then I took it from the TikTok to put onto my Facebook group that I noticed I'd put 11th of November, 11/11. And I'm like, how the heck? It wasn't as if it was a day out or a month out. It was literally 4 months out.
Yeah.
right? Because I've seen me doing the 17th when it's really the 18th or something like that,
Yeah.
right? Or vice versa. But it was enough to make me think, why did I put 11/11?
Hmm.
So I just noted that date down and said, right, noted, went back into the video and edited the date and put the right date on. But before I edited the video, I saved the downloaded one which had the 11th of November. And that one I've got saved
Wow.
till the 11th of November. And ever since then, 11/11 keeps coming up.
Yeah.
And I did the card of the day yesterday, and guess what? 11/11.
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, okay, I've got the message. And for some reason, I was to keep that video. So,
Something made you write it.
yep. Yep. But in my head, I wrote the 9th of June.
Yeah.
But my guides can shapeshift.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I could be thinking I've wrote the 9th of June and my guides have actually said, no, we'll scribble this down for you.
Erica says she's not heard from her husband yet.
That's not unusual, Erica. The reason I'm saying that is, it's funny that you've just said, I haven't heard from my husband yet. Because I'm being told to give it a little bit time. Because there's certain things he's got to come face to face with on the other side. All right. Spirit basically saying, when the time is right, he will get in touch. But right now, there are things that Spirit are, or the higher ones, the hierarchies or the archangels, if you want to call them that, the higher masters, etc. The best way I can describe it, and Miss Sparkles will tell you, I've often said this on many of my readings, when we pass over onto the other side, you know how some people have near-death experiences? And the first thing they'll say is, I swear I saw my life pass in front of my eyes. Right? Right? Yeah, they literally do.
Yeah.
Because every action, every deed that we do on this earth plane, when we pass over, we get a review. You are actually shown, almost like somebody saying, here's a video of your life. You will sit there and you'll watch it.
But
and they will
that go for, like, say, a car crash or a heart attack? Or...
No, the things that they'll show you is lessons that you haven't learned.
Right, okay.
Obviously, they're not going to give you the horror side, if it's anything horrific, they're not going to give you that. But we talk about universal karma. Like karma, whether it's, universal karma is a real thing. It really is. I'm a starseed, I know these things. And some people think, yeah, well, I lived right to the end of my days and karma hasn't hit me yet. And I'm on my way out, so there we go. Yeah, that's what you think. Your karma doesn't have to be on the earth plane. Your karma waits for you on the other side. If you've done anything to harm another human being, for example, etc., etc. Right? You might not get that karma while you are on the earth plane. but you sure as hell will get it on the other side. I once knew a lady, she was really, really dark force. That's all I'm going to say on that one. She was dark force with her husband, who was also one of our old neighbours who's still going. And they worked together as a couple. And I thought, this is going to go bad for one of them, because they're not just picking on one witch, they're picking on two, because my other half's a witch as well. And she passed over. No, a few months later, she was gone. She was here and she was gone. And she went into, you have light realms and dark realms on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And she went to the dark realms. And there are several different realms. One of them is, you might have heard of the spiritual people talking about dark water or black water. Black water is a realm where the water is black, jet black. And round the side of it is sand. It's like mud or sand, but the actual lake is jet black. And light workers like myself, can walk around the edge of this because I astral travel to different realms. I've seen quite a few realms, good and bad, the light and the dark. And I remember I was just going from one realm to the other in one of my sleeps, and this hand popped up out of the black water, followed by her face, and she looked at me and says, "Can you get me out of here, please? I don't like it here." And I simply said, "That's not my place to take you out, but I wish you well." So, a lot of Christians, for example, say, "Oh, there's heaven and hell," and stuff like that. Well, yes and no. Depends what you call heaven and hell. Some people say we're actually living in hell. When you think about the earth that we live in, it's full of negative people, right? Are we going through hell just to see the heaven and earth? But it doesn't matter what dimension we're in, whether it's earth dimension, whether it's universal dimension, whether it's spiritual dimensions. Each dimension has their version of heaven and hell, if you like, light and dark. Right? It doesn't matter. Even here on earth, we have light and dark. Right? You have light souls and you have dark souls. Right? And you have in between. And here's the thing, every one of us is capable of going one way or the other. That's our choice. Because every one of us has got a little bit of dark and a little bit of light. Right? Even myself. A lot of people say, "Oh, Lady M's a light worker." Yeah. Until you get to my dark side. And you don't want to go there. Right? You can choose. Pick and choose. But yeah, this lady thought she had got away with everything in life, and she ended up in the dark water. That she could swim in that dark water, but she could never reach the shore. You have other realms that are caves, and the caves are wall to floor with eels, black slimy eels.
Oh, can we not
Yeah.
miss that one off? It sounds a bit gross having to buy those and put them in my fridge. Oh.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, I've walked through that and it's not very nice because, it doesn't matter where you walk in there, you're going to trod on one of them or squidge on one of them, because they're up the walls and on the floor and around and there are just so many that they just, and this is the thing, a lot of them, it depends. To get to those really, really, really dark realms, you have to be like somebody that's really, um, not worth putting back to live another lifetime because they they're just not coming back, right? The universe won't put them back to do any more harm, So when she passed over, she would have got her review, and they would have said, "There's no way we're putting you back, so that you can do more damage to other people, but we will put you here, and that's your karma, that's your judgment, that's your karma." Whereas other ones, they might have been a good person most of their life. A good example would be, I had a really good friend years and years ago, and she was lovely, absolutely lovely. And then she went through a lot of trauma and went through drink, and then it led to other things. And it changed her personality totally. And she became this really, really nasty person. Now, when she got her review on the other side, are they going to put her into the Black Water or the Crystal Cave? Absolutely not. Why? Because it's what she went through that turned her to the drink or the drugs or whatever. And the universe isn't going to judge her for that. They'll heal it. And I feel what's happening on the other side for your other half, there's healing going on with him. Does that make sense, Erica? It's like he's had that review, his whole life has been shown to him, but this he's not to the point where they're going to put him in the dark water. They're going to put him in where he's not coming back. He is going to be able to communicate with you at a later date, but they have to give him the healing that he needs. Yeah. Yes, that's exactly what they're showing, right? When he was in the place that he was at before he passed, he couldn't see it, right? He couldn't see the person he had become. Does that make sense? But when he passed over, he suddenly he's seen it all. And then he's got to go through that sense of, shit, what the hell have I done? And how do I heal from that? Or how do I fix this? If that makes sense. And that's the process that he's going through just now. So it's basically they're basically, your guides are letting me know to let you know. It's not that he doesn't want to connect with you, right? Because deep down, before the world took him astray, you two were soulmates, is what I'm being told, right? There wasn't a bad bone in his body, and to be fair, there still wasn't even towards the end. But towards the end, that wasn't him. Does that make sense? Yep, exactly. And he now sees, if he had his life to live over, would he have made the same choices? No, absolutely not. And this is the point where he's at. He's looking at how he went from that to that and how he's going to heal his soul at the minute regarding that. And then once that healing process is all done, that's when our loved ones come through and they're able then to pass on the message. But one thing that he did request to pass on to you through his guides is throughout it all. And this is how they want me to put it. And I don't know whether Bill would have said it in such a tone, but this is how they're asking me to say it. His message to you is, throughout it all, even towards the end, when he was a right, see you next Tuesday, to you, and he sees that now, the one thing that he wanted to pass on, one, towards the end, that wasn't him, right? It was what he was doing to his body that changed him, if that makes sense. So, taking that aside, if he hadn't gone down that route, he's letting you know. Now, I don't know what this means, but he says you will know what it means. But he says the promise that he made you has always stayed true. He made you a promise. And even though it might have seemed that he had actually broke that promise to you when he was going through that bad spell, in his heart, he never ever did. So I don't know if that makes sense. Yep. Take that time. Yep. He's taken that time to reflect. He's taken that time to heal. But at the same time, he's letting you know, please tell her, you've always held his heart. And he will say more when he's able to process things on the other side, if that makes sense. But he says the promise that he gave you many years ago still remains true. And he says you'll know what that means. Because that's something that you and him, and only you and him, knew. It's almost like he made a vow, or a special vow, or he made a special promise to you. And he says in his heart, he's always kept that promise. It might not have seemed it towards the end when the world took him astray, but he's kept that promise. And he wanted you to know that. So I don't know if that resonates with you, but that's what his guides have passed on to let you know that. But he will connect with you. Give him time, is what they're saying. Oh, wow. Well, that's exactly why I'm getting goosebumps. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm getting big goosebumps here. Yeah. And, that's what he says, through thick or thin, he kept his promise. Wow. He knows. He hears you. He's saying, please, please tell her that I do hear her. I'm just not able to answer, because I feel that you've asked him questions as well in the hope that you'll hear answers. He will give you the answers, but he's asking, can you give him just that little bit of time for healing him on the other side? Exactly. And he knows that. He knows that. He says you deserve a medal for what he put you through. If he could take it all back, he would. But just know that you were always his number one and always will be. And he will, you've given him that little bit of time to heal on the other side, he'll be able to communicate more with you, honey. But he says you need to heal you too. You need to take time out for you as well. And he said, don't remember the bad things, remember the happy times. That's his wish for you, to remember the happy times, not what he became in the end, but the person that he was before life took him astray. Wow. Yeah. And that's why he said what he said, honey. So let's see what cards. You have got the King of Cups, King of Emotions. All right. This is exactly what Bill was trying to tell you. There's emotions on both sides. He's going through a lot of emotions just now. He's going through a lot of emotional healing. Right? He didn't have time to heal himself on the earth plane. The healing's getting done on the spirit plane. And this is where the King of Emotions comes into it. But he's also sending the King of Emotions to you as well. Because there's a lot of emotions that you have to heal from as well. Even when we grieve those, because deep down he knows that you know that wasn't him. Right? And he never ever, if he could have his life to live over, he would change it. He would change it up, but he can't. But he can heal from it. And his wish for you is to do some healing for you too. And he said, do what he couldn't, live your life. And when all said and done, your soulmate, as he was before the world took him astray, will be waiting for you on the other side with open arms. But until that day, he says, live your life. Because he'll be right beside you every step of the way, living that life with you. He says, this is your time to shine. He says, he smothered you towards the end. And for that, he is really, really sorry. And that's why he's saying, I'm giving you the freedom key here. And this is your time to heal. And this is your time to do the things that you want to do. The things that will make you happy, because his wish now is for you to be happy. And if you're happy, then you fulfilled his wish. Hello, Steph. Welcome in. Let me put Steph on the list as well before I forget. We've got all the subs coming in tonight. What else could this mean? Is your soul truth card, Erica, right? Again, this comes to the question is that you asked right at the beginning. Why haven't I heard from Bill? What else could it mean? What else could it mean? Does it mean that Bill never loved you or didn't care when he passed over? No. What else could it mean then, right? There's always multiple ways to look at every situation. Our first reaction is usually rooted in our fears and limited beliefs. Look at the situation today by stepping outside of the trigger and ask yourself, what could this mean? What could Bill not get in touch with me mean? Does it mean what my fear-based human side of me thinks it means? i.e., he doesn't want to communicate. Or is it something else? And he's just told you it's something else. Looking at the bigger picture, he's healing, but you also need that healing as well. That's what else this could mean. Your soul action for today. Is there something your soul is calling you to learn in this moment? Or is there a pattern that is ready to be broken? Walk in the other person's shoes and see it from their perspective. If it doesn't involve someone else, ask yourself, how is life happening for me right now? He knows before you even came into tonight's reading that you wanted to hear from him. Because you felt he didn't care or he just didn't want to communicate with you for whatever reason. That was further from the truth. What he was trying to say to you, which is what the Soul Truth card was trying to say to you, is look at it from my shoes. I've just been shown what these life circumstances towards the end did to my body and my mind. And I don't like it. And I need to change it, and I need to find a way to heal from that. And that's what he's doing. And that's where, look at the bigger picture. The lesson that he's given, or the universe has given, be patient with yourself, but also be patient with him. Allow you to heal and allow him to heal, right? He needs to heal from his emotions, what he's going through, what he's went through, etc. And part of that is forgiving himself. And that's what he has to, that's what he's kind of looking at things to sort of come to terms with it, but to also to heal himself. But at the same time, you've got to go through your process of grieving as well. But one thing that he's saying is when you're going through that grieving thing and you're remembering things from the past, let go of the Bill that was at the end and remember the Bill that was before that. That's his wish for you. Because that's the Bill that is on the other side. Through the healing process, he has gone from the Bill that was to the Bill that was before. But a better, wiser, and more knowledgeable soul for the process. And that's his message for you. Know that he is sending you so much love. Be gentle with yourself. Be kind with yourself. But more importantly, take time out to heal for you. You both need healing. He's getting it on the spiritual side, and you're getting it on the earth plane. And when the time's right, you'll hear from him a lot more. And it'll be the Bill that you fell in love with all those years ago, not the Bill that he became. I hope that has brought you much needed comfort, because that was his wish for you tonight. And that's what he wants for you. The memories of good, the good memories. Oh, let me just bring our Steph into the box.
Hiya.
Hi, Steph. How are you?
I'm okay. Sorry, I fell asleep.
Oh, don't worry about it. It makes a change that you fell asleep before you actually came to my live and fallen asleep during my live.
Is everyone okay?
We're doing fine. We've just
Where's
finished We've just
all right,
finished.
Sparkles?
Miss Sparkles, are you still awake? Miss Sparkles, are you still with us?
I don't think.
I think she's maybe dozed off.
Hi, Kitty.
Oh, Steph, we have a new subscriber, Lorna. I'm just going to pop little Miss Sparkles down till she's comes back in. I know she won't mind. And we've got Steph in the box. So, and we've got Kitty on the door.
Yeah.
So we've got a new subscriber. Our Lorna subscribed tonight as well.
Oh. Is that fire train? Fire
Terrain is Erica.
Hi, Erica. And we've got another one, have we?
Yeah, Lorna Graham. I don't know if Lorna's still with us. Lorna, are you still with us? Are you still in the live? She was there a minute ago. Kitty, did Veiled come back? 'Cause we've still got Veiled's reading to do. Erica, I'm so glad that reading made sense for you. I think you needed to hear that today. No, she's not come back yet. All right, we'll keep her on the list just in case she comes back. If not, I can do Veiled's at another time. I'll probably do Veiled during the week if she doesn't come back in. I did that the last time, didn't we?
Yeah, she goes, doesn't she, quite?
Yeah.
Not early, but
Yeah, I
she
think
doesn't stay till the end, does she?
No, she doesn't always stay to the end. She kind of just she gets tired sometimes and falls asleep.
Yeah.
I don't know if Lorna's still with us. Lorna, are you still with us? Kitty or Steph, can you see Lorna? Lorna Graham. Let me have a look. Oh, we've got Veiled in. I can see Veiled on mine.
I don't know if they're right, though, you know.
I know, that's what I'm thinking.
Because who's who's the fourth one down?
Or Esmeralda John's the one that's on the outside looking in.
Right.
She's not a subscriber. Right, I think we've lost. Yeah, I can't see Lorna. Yeah, I can't see Lorna and I can't see Veiled. Do we still have Gemma? Gemma, are you still with us?
Gem's gone to sleep.
Or has Gemma gone to sleep?
I saw in the comments she said night, I think.
All right, so Gemma will be... I will give Gemma...
Good night all.
Right, yeah. So I'm just going to put a star next to Gemma because she's definitely one that I'll do during the week. She'll get her card on the actual page. Right, so we've got Kitty and Steph then. So, Kitty, what 2 cards would you like, honey? Soul Truth, Old Faithful, Moon card, or Angel numbers? Are you 2 ladies okay for a quick mods chat after the live?
Yeah, I'm wide awake.
You wide awake? What
No,
you
I've got
been
a piss.
drinking that you're wide awake, Mrs? You been on the Red Bull?
I've been asleep, haven't I? I've had my sleep now.
Oh, that's it. She's had her sleep. She's up all night now.
Hello. I don't know if my comments are coming through.
Yeah, I don't know if Kitty's comments are... Kitty, let's try...
Numbers, maybe.
Yeah. Deck 1, 2, 3, or 4. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Any 2. Any 2 will do. I'm a poet and I didn't know it.
3 and 2.
3 and 2. So that will be moon cards and these ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okie dokie. I was just saying before you came in, Steph and Kitty, to Miss Sparkles, that it feels like I've been off live for like months.
I know. It does feel like a long time, but it's only about a week or so, isn't it?
It's only the weekend, really. I think, when was our last live? We did a Sunday live, and then...
Oh, yeah, the ghost hunt thing.
Yeah. We did the Sunday readings, then we did the ghost hunt on the Wednesday, and then we were supposed to have like the Thursday and the Friday, and we just decided just abandon it until the Wednesday again. So, but we are back. But I don't know if you noticed, but the new account is building slowly.
It is, yeah. I've seen.
We've now got 160. Well, last count might have gone up a bit since then. So we are getting there slowly. I'm actually built up a little community of positive poi spinners.
Mafia.
Yeah, on the other account. I just happened. The reason I got into the poi was because I watched this lady, and I've been following her for ages on this account and the new one. She followed me back on the new one, and she's a poi spinner, but she's amazing at what she does, and she does it as a spiritual healing type thing. That's her thing. And the more that I watched her, the more I thought, do you know what? I've done this before in a past life, the poi spin. There was just something drew me to it. And I heed in a horde, and I thought, will I not? Will I go for it? Will I not? And then eventually I thought, do you know what? Just buy yourself your poise. Get a scarf set and a bowl set and just see where it goes. And while I was waiting for the scarf and the bowl sets to come through, I decided, right, I'm going to learn poi before I actually get the poise. So I watched hers, and then I communicated with this lady, beautiful lady in Northern Ireland. She's lovely, and she does the poi. She, a bit like myself, she's disabled. She's not disabled sight-wise, but she has other disabilities. But she says throughout her disability, the one thing that she could do and do well was the poi.
Oh.
And it gave her that little bit of independence. So we started talking, and I then started talking to more poi spinners. And then the more I spoke to her, and I says, well, I've actually just received my scarf poise. I'm still waiting for my bowl ones. I think they're due at the weekend. And I says, well, I'm still doing my scarf. I've still got my scarf poise, so I will be practicing them. And she says, if there's any help that I can give you or tips, beginner's tips, she says, I'm more than happy to show you. And I thought that would be, and I thought, well, that would be really, really nice.
Yeah, that's better.
And then she did a video just for me.
Oh.
And it was a beginning video, and I thanked her for it. And I says, oh, well, I can do this move. Not great, but I can still do this move. I says, so any little help for beginners, right from a newbie type thing. And she messaged me today and says, there's another video with your name on it that I've tagged. She says it's the next step for you, so that it will keep you motivated. And she said, follow this lady because we are a poi community and we support each other.
Oh.
So,
That's nice.
so that's building up our numbers.
Well, yeah, it is as well.
And it's helping me in a positive way because I've now got a community of poi spinners as well as spiritual people.
Yeah.
So, and the people that we're building on the other side is completely new people.
Yeah, that's what we want, don't we?
Yeah, completely new set. Don't get me wrong, there's a couple that have followed me from this account to the other one.
That have been here for a while, forever.
Yeah. But on the whole, we have already started as we planned to go on, and we're building the vibe tribe that we wanted to create. We're now creating on the other side.
Yeah.
Which I just think is amazing.
Yeah. It's really good. I think it doesn't matter how long it takes. In the end, we're going to have the best people, aren't we, with us?
Yeah. This time round, I'm able to choose the vibe tribe that I want to connect with rather than just anybody to build up the numbers. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong because they're in it for the numbers. I need to get 10,000 or I need to get 20,000 or 30,000 people. And they're not thinking that it's great to have these 30,000 people, but look at this account, 3,000 people. That's impossible to know whether you've got good or bad people in that 3,000.
Yeah.
It becomes more tricky. Whereas if you're building bit by bit, step by step, the community that you want around you, supporting you, right from the word go, you're going to have the community that you want.
It's true, that is.
And we're building that community. Don't get me wrong, when we go live, you're still going to get the trolley-dolies, but at the end of the day, we're a little bit smarter and wiser with the trolleys.
Yeah.
So,
I think that when you're putting your personal life on TikTok. Like some of these people that have got thousands of followers, like you say, you don't know who's right and wrong in that.
Nope.
Them followers, do you?
Nope. You don't. It's absolutely crazy. TikTok's a crazy place.
It is.
You know, you think, oh, this person seems nice, but really, unless you're a good people reader like I am, it's really, really difficult. Oh, we've got one that fell out the card for Kitty. Kitty, your cards always fly out the deck. Every time. Never fails with our Kitty. Alrighty. Your moon card, Kitty. You and your loved ones are safe. Now, I don't know whether you've been worried about negative people around you, whether you've been worried about past events kind of thing, catching up or whatever. I know as myself and you ladies as my mod team, my gosh, we have been through the mill and back and then gone through the mill and back again quite a few times. And that is going to leave bitter tastes in our mouths, right? There's no denying that, right? But look at it this way. What we've come through hasn't diminished us. It's actually made us stronger and wiser. And then you start to wonder, will the past events affect me and my family? Especially on a platform like TikTok, where you've got a vast array of people on this app. You've got good, you've got the bad, and you've got the ugly. Let's face it, right? You've got all walks of life. You've got good witches, bad witches, voodoo witches, witch doctors, right? All of that. Is it any wonder that then we wonder, oh, I blocked this person or I blocked that person. Am I going to get hexed? Am I going to get cursed? Right? It's a natural human worry. We allow our negative mindset to think, oh, what if they come at me now? Oh, we've just got to see, every time it applauds, I bloomin' jump out my skin.
Sorry.
Honest to God.
That's me. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. Applaud away. Yay, we've reached another Help Me goal. At least you woke me up there, Steph. Oh my gosh, I'm like, what the? It happens every time when they do that goal and they like applaud it. If you've got your sound up on your headphones, it's like, it really applauds.
Oh my God. We've been in there 5 minutes of causing trouble.
No, you were getting your heart me, and that was so good. And Kitty's just pulling this. Yeah. Worried about whether negativity or negative energy has been sent to you. Well, the universe is answering you with this card by saying, doesn't matter what you've done or said to protect you and your family. You know,